There's a river festival happening across the road there. Probably pretty loud for the booking tonight. Just walking around to waste some time. So I have quite a bit to wait for this group, so just do a little walking tour. No, I'm not going to turn on the lights. It's like 35 degrees in Ottawa. Hello, Father Villeneuve. Oh, somebody opened up our last rites kit. Wonder, oh, one of the candle things broke. It's a good find. Solitary confinement. This is where Henry Séguin took his life, 1954. This wasn't always solitary. This was the death row cell. This is where the condemned would wait to be executed. I think it was in the 70s that they turned it into solitary. Can you imagine spending years in a cell this size? It's typical 19th century cell blocks, 3 by 9. These ones are a little bit shorter, 3 by 8. Ugh. The heat. Jeez. I love the graffiti here as you look through like all of the old graffiti from when this was here. It's just, I wish I had the time to like catalog every single marking from an inmate. And who knows what's under the plaster? I mean, you know, like this has been plastered over, but there's stone and brick, and I bet you there's graffiti on that as well. It'd be great to strip one of these down and just get to the original walls and see what's there. Now there is an escape story here. A prisoner was able to get up through the stones in the ceiling, and they got into the crawl space above, and they ran into a wasp nest, and they turned back, and the guards noticed he was out of his cell, and they didn't know where he went. And then they came back, and he was sitting in his cell again and realized he went up through the ceiling. There's another interesting story around the turn of the century. There used to be bars on these windows, and somebody escaped through the bars. He was a contortionist, and they caught him outside, and the guards actually asked him to do it again for entertainment. They wanted to see him get through the bars. So I don't know, I know it happened in this cell block. I don't know which window it was, but the windows were much different when the jail was running. Hey Eric, yeah, this is Cornwall, Ontario, not Ottawa. I'm here for a bookend and just walking around. It's not a ghost, it's just a guard. Oh, look how they positioned this guy. He's having some tea. So tea was a common treat for the inmates here. It's interesting how they put him like that. He used to be inside one of the cells. Now in terms of haunted history, this cell block right here, or this cell, is where a man named Jacques Lepage took his life. And it was because of him there was a lot of change in the way we look at mental health in the institutions. There are stand-up cells dug in the ground of this building, yeah. About 70% of this basement, Eric, is inaccessible. They filled it up with stones. In I think it was 11 or 13, the inmates were excavating for a kitchen and they discovered holding cells in the floor that were filled up with stone. I can show you the original blueprint. That's something we can do. We can talk about the basement. The fan is pretty noisy. You know, I always experience things when I'm here alone, just walking around. The county's buildings are shut down. It's Friday. Everybody's gone home. They always place these guys where they spook you. All right, so here we go, the basement. So the cells you're talking about that were dug up in the basement, hold this light here, is right here. Now they were used for lunatics back in the day, and the other one there is a punishment cell. Now these cell blocks in the basement are all sealed and they're filled up with stone. So the only accessible part inside of this basement is right here. This is all accessible, and this is accessible, and this cell is accessible, and this is accessible. But all this is filled in with stones. And I would really love to get those stones out and see what it looks like down there. Oh, that creepy tunnel. Built in 1958, it was to transfer inmates to the new courthouse when they decommissioned the one upstairs here over the jail. But that's one of the hot spots for paranormal activity. I don't know, should I go down there? Please check out Upper Canada. You have hours of video. The St. Lawrence Parks Commission has never really been into the paranormal stuff other than haunted walks. It'd be pretty loud up here with the fan. But we've had people come to our events tell us about Upper Canada and the encounters they've had there. And they're renting out some of the buildings now as an Airbnb. But personally, I've been there since I was a kid. I know that that'd be great for an event. So this is general population. This was created in 1985. They built this, and this was due to the jail being overpopulated. And I've interviewed the superintendent who worked here when it closed, and they said that they would have 4 people sleep in here. You'd have somebody at the top, the bottom, the floor by the toilet, and then somebody would sleep under the bed. So that's around the time that this jail was closing. And all these old jails were deemed inhumane. They built the super jail down the road, and now being deemed inhumane, and they got to build a better one. So people experience a lot of activity up here, and I always question why. It was built in 1985. There's no known deaths that occurred up here. You have a lot of things happen up here to people, a lot of strange experiences. So the jail closing in 2002, this was really only in operation for, under 20 years. There's a rumor that a murder here, but I think there would be any activity here. Top where the gallows. So originally this was the officers' yard, and that spot in particular, this cell block, is where the gallows were built and where people were executed. Coming in and out of reception here. We look out this window, if you caught that about gallows, we have a mock gallow right there, and you notice we're at the same height. Well, this is the only part left to the officer's yard, and this is where the gallows were originally built, right here. So maybe that's why, you know, there's so much activity up here. Yeah, it's definitely heavy up in this spot. They call it Hotel California. That's the nickname for this cell block, and that's because of this right here. It's cool how they, you know, kind of painted a Monopoly board onto the table. And like I said, all the graffiti here is just amazing. And if you look up above, back in the day, you could smoke in jails. In the 90s, I think is when they stopped, and all that yellow is all the nicotine stains. And I've read a few guard transcripts that talked about how awful the air condition was in here because of the smoking, because of everybody smoking. I wonder what was hidden in there. This guy has no legs. There you go. That's better. Oh. I would take you down to the punishment cell, but we're going to lose reception if we go down there. And to get to the punishment cell, we got to go through to the kitchen over there. Now, they call this the laundry room, but originally it was the shower room, and this is where people would shower before they put their showers in the cell blocks. Now, the basement I was talking about before, this is where the arc entrance is. We discovered it on the blueprint, and it's in there that was filled up with stone. So that used to be an entrance to the part of the basement that is shut off now. Again, lots of graffiti in here. Written up in there. I spoke to somebody who told me his name was written here when he spent time here. He told me some awful stories on how the guards treated them. Is that it? Yeah. Corey, right there. So I've been talking to him on Facebook, and he's not in the best health. He's promising me an interview. So I'm hoping I can get that done at some point when he feels better. And again, that's the Lady in Black tunnel. I don't know if you guys want me to go in there or not. So this is the officer's yard. It continued on this way, and the gallows were built where I showed you that cell block. Well, this is just a mock gallows. It's about the right height. Eric, the governor's house is now used for county offices. It's not accessible to the public for tours anymore. Who can be in population with others. don't know why I'm breaking up down here. I usually get good cell service. You know what? I was on the jail Wi-Fi. Now this is another hotspot. For me anyways, the experiences I've had in here. Now, they did bury people in this yard, and right now we're walking through what were once burials, because when they built this, they had to remove bodies from here. And that's the Lady in Black tunnel. I won't go down there now. I'll probably go live on TikTok after this, because I never go live on TikTok. I probably should. But yeah, you can hop on TikTok for that. I just wanted to do a quick walk around. I just heard a knock. Another death occurred here. His name was Gary Summers. Cornwall Jail, Don. Gary, are you here tonight? Can you make a knock? I'm hearing something out here. Slow down the fan. It's pretty noisy. So this is my favorite cell block to sit in. The reason why I like to sit in here is because of Peter Balcombe. Now, Peter Balcombe murdered a woman, left her nude in a ditch for a child to find. This is where he was before he was executed, and they brought his body in here to be examined by the coroner after his execution. So I like to try to talk to Peter here, but usually Peter just likes to talk to women. But sometimes he'll give me attention. Peter, are you here? I'm all by myself in this jail. There's nobody here with me. I'm waiting for a group tonight. If they're good people, hopefully you'll come out and do something for them. And I know how much you like attention. So Peter, can you do a knock for me, please? Just a knock, Peter. You know the type of knock I'm looking for. It is hot in here. All right, Eric. People said before the phone was disconnected, it would be quite disturbing with the constant ringing when the other officers were closed. Offices. So there is a story here about the phones, the one at the visiting center or the visiting area. It was connected to another phone which is out in the courtyard, and if one phone was picked up, it would ring the other phone. People would say the phone would ring and they would hear creepy whispers through the phone. We've never experienced that here ourselves, but they did disconnect that line that was causing that. So maybe that was something that was happening when the lines were still connected. We've been doing this work here since 2019, and they were disconnected when we came in and started doing the work here. So, yeah, I mean, people have heard a phone ring, but no like phone or source of the ringing sound. All right. Peter's not doing a knock for me. Peter? It's usually this knock, this cell over here, somewhere in this corner, is where we hear the knocking. Or it could be Jacques. Yeah, Eric, you would have taken our tour. If it was after 2019, you would have been here with us. Peter, can you do a knock? Well, the knock was by the window, but... All right. So here's some cool artifacts here from 19th century jails. I was able to pick these up for the jail in Montreal. So it's a nice collection. So they did do stone breaking here, and the inmates would wear ball and chain. Now you would think that, you know, I could run away with that ball and chain, but put it on and you can't run with it. Like, honestly. Like, you wiggle really quick, I guess. Yeah, Eric, you would have been here with us. So here's the phones. I'll pick it up. Totally disconnected. All right, so before I let you guys go, I'll show you a picture of Peter Bacombe. There's Peter. Oh, I'm blocking him. It's executed in 1954. So that cell block I showed you upstairs in general population, that is exactly where that scaffold is that was used to execute Peter. And that's the woman he murdered. Anyways, we're gonna sign off. I'm gonna go onto TikTok and do the same thing there. I still have about an hour to kill before the group shows up. It is hot in this jail, like really hot. So if you're on TikTok, I'll jump on there in about 15 minutes, probably maybe 20 minutes, and do the same thing there. So for all that joined us, thanks. Now I've never done a YouTube live from my phone before, so now I have to figure out how do I turn it off. I see a share button. Maybe it's the X. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes. All right. Have a good weekend, everyone.